This isn't just another internet controversy. This is child exploitation hiding in plain sight, broadcast daily to millions. And it's time we say it out loud. Stephanie Jenkins, known online as the Resilient Jenkins, has become the face of calculated online parenting. Not the nurturing kind, but the kind where your kids' struggles are turned into content and every cry for help becomes a brand strategy. What once looked like a story of a struggling single mom has now evolved into something intentional, something disturbing, something exploitative. Stephanie isn't trying to survive, she's trying to go viral. She's not solving problems, she's staging them. Her children's discomfort isn't being resolved, it's being filmed, packaged, and monetized. Every TikTok live, every tearful update, every donation link is part of a growing playbook. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's get into it. Let's break down exactly how Stephanie crossed the line from hardship to hustle and how her kids ended up as collateral damage in her content machine. Stephanie recently went on video claiming that the most urgent need for her family was, wait for it, dental care.
So a few days ago I mentioned that we were going to slowly but surely better each area in our life, and I started with our dental care. Out with the old and with the new kind of method, if you will. I know some of you may be thinking, hey, you just cleaned this bathroom. If you're paying good enough attention in that cleaning video, the Guru Nada products were already on the counter. I am not about to do that over. Like I was saying, the Guru Nada products were already on the counter. Because when I did the whole cleaning video, I started with the counter, and I just played around with angles so that I could finish the rest of the bathroom. Let's get back to this bettering part of our lives. I chose to invest in our dental care first because I just felt like it was the most immediate need for our family all around. All of our kids regularly see dentists, and none of them had cavities, which is a win in any parent's book. As our kids are getting older, they stop losing all their baby teeth and now have all of their adult teeth. I'm going to do anything and everything I can going forward to help them maintain the best oral health they can. Honestly, I did my research on this. I had never seen these concentrated mouthwash drops from Guru Nada, but there's 300 uses per bottle. Since I got 3 bottles in the pack, I'm expecting this to last us like at least 6-8 months. Using it for 3 days, and so far everybody's liking it. Okay, bye-bye now.
Now, on the surface, dental care sounds important, right? Every parent wants their kid to have strong, healthy teeth. But here's where it goes from concerning to downright insulting. In the exact same video, Stephanie admitted that her kids had no cavities, no issues, perfectly healthy teeth, regular dentist visits, passed with flying colors. So, why spin dental care as their most urgent emergency? Because when you step back and actually look at their reality, it becomes clearer. This wasn't about need, it was about distraction. These kids are living in a motel room that's cramped, unsanitary, and visibly falling apart. The bathroom is a disaster zone, grime, stains, leaky fixtures, mold creeping up in the corners. We've seen it. The evidence is right there on her own social media. And yet, somehow, dental care gets center stage. Not a safe home, not clean air, not basic hygiene or access to private living space. No, according to Stephanie, it is dental care that's the life or death situation. It's insulting to the viewer's intelligence. It's a slap in the face to anyone genuinely trying to help. It's gaslighting at the most, it's shameless. And frankly, it almost feels like Stephanie is testing her audience, daring people to call her out so she can play the victim again and spin even more engagement out of it.
Stephanie Jenkins has perfected rage baiting. She's perfected it. Because, she posts things about the wash rag, she posts when her and her boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever, go to, Target or doctor's appointments, where are the other kids at? Obviously, they're home by themselves. What else? She posts about how her kids know, how she told her kids that people on the internet want to separate them from her. And there's a million other things, but she has perfected rage baiting at the expense of her kids' lives and happiness.
Because here's the ugly. Outrage fuels her brand. Every furious comment, every share, every viewer calling her out feeds the TikTok algorithm. To Stephanie, there is no difference between hate and sympathy, as long as it means more clicks. And the sickest part? Her children are the ones who lose every time. They're the ones stuck living in those cramped, filthy conditions while their mother prioritizes manipulating an audience for views over providing them a stable, dignified life. Stephanie isn't trying to fix their situation. She's trying to monetize it. Every dirty corner, every uncomfortable moment, Every tear and sad look, it's all just content for her. And every day she chooses to lie, distract instead of genuinely improve her kids' lives, the truth becomes harder to ignore. It's not survival anymore, it's exploitation. Stephanie isn't just rage baiting, she's also trying to pull on strings. And she's getting better at it each time. In one of her recent TikToks, she said she wanted to spend her next paycheck taking her kids to Disney World, but sadly, she couldn't afford it.
There's lots of things to consider. Lots of things to consider that take time to consider. And it's hard because as a mom who's never been able to afford just a basic little vacation for my kiddos, I want to take my next month's payment and take my kids to Disney World or some crazy crap. But I know that's completely unrealistic. I toss between we only have one life to live and I want to create as many memories as I can. But then I bring myself right back to reality because I'm back to that immediate need mindset. All of my kids are constantly growing and need clothes all of the freaking time. Pretty soon here, we're going to lose our benefits and we're going to have to pay out of pocket for all of our means, which I know y'all can't wait for. But personally, I'm a little bit freaking terrified. I've spent my whole 30 years of my life financially struggling. And now I spend my everyday doing everything I can to try to create financial stability for my children and create some kind of future where they don't have to do the same kind of struggling with their kiddos. Just because I'm not doing it the way you see fit doesn't mean I'm not trying my hardest.
On the surface, it sounds sweet. A mom with limited resources still dreaming of giving her kids something magical. The kind of moment every parent wants to give their children. Fun, laughter, something to smile about. But let's stop and remember the bigger picture. These kids are still living in a motel room. One tiny space where everyone eats, sleeps, and bathes in a cramped, unhygienic environment. There is no stability, no safety, no long-term plan. And under those circumstances, a Disney vacation doesn't sound like a dream. It sounds like a performance. It's less about the kids and more about planting an emotional landmine in the viewer's chest.
The resilient Jenkins want to take their kids to Disneyland before getting their kids a home. Mind you, she just told us that they have been using rags to wipe and clean themselves since they cannot afford toilet paper. She has also been putting everyone's toothbrushes in empty Gatorade bottles. But her man just bought a $100 game.
Stephanie knows how to trigger empathy. She knows that the thought of children missing out on childhood joy is enough to make people open their wallets. She dangles the idea of Disney, the symbol of family magic, hoping that someone will fund the fantasy. But it's not a new act. When Stephanie first showed up online, her story was the same too. Her children were sleeping on the floor, and that image was all it took. People rushed to help. Bunk beds arrived. The internet felt like it made a difference. She's just replaying the same trick, dressed in different ways, with a shinier distraction. The script is the same. The cast hasn't changed. Only the props are different. And each time people fall for it, it gets harder to see where the real need ends and the manipulation begins. There's been some talk lately that the Jenkins family doesn't make that much from TikTok. Some people claim they are earning way less than the $15,000 that's been circulating online. Some defenders say those numbers are exaggerated, that maybe it's only a couple thousand here and there from lives, gifts, and views.
I know it's not just me, but I've noticed that Stephanie always seems to have like the latest and greatest technology, and just like when she's showing her cleaning videos, she's always using something that normal people wouldn't have. But what I say that is, follow me, track. So when you are making money on TikTok, you will end up getting, and you don't even have to make a lot, you can be a small content creator, but companies will want to send you samples. They'll send you their products to review. A fun fact, it is a law that you have to mark your video. And I don't know if I would say a law. It is a rule. It is a guideline. You have to mark all products as being advertisements. And I think you can only use the hashtag for an advertisement if you are promoting a product. So if you're not doing that, you can't get bananaed. In addition, like, she has a lot of things. She went through a whole era of her life where she was just promoting the different products that people would send her. She does it not as much because I don't think it fits her narrative of being in poverty. So she stopped and kind of stepped away from what I've noticed on the trends on her videos. She's not promoting as many products as she used to when it was relatively new, when she was getting, like, you know, she became viral and she was getting more views and her momentum was picking up. But yeah, I just really want you to know that she has resources that she can use. There are plenty of resources in Oregon that you just have to use if you want to get out of situations like that. But again, it's a choice.
But let's get real. Whether it's $5,000 and $8,000 or $15,000, that's still more than enough to rent a small 2-bedroom apartment in dozens of affordable cities across the US. Even in the higher cost states, it's workable with budgeting. Add free benefits, like government housing assistance, EBT, and Medicaid. It's not just possible, it's realistic. So why are they still stuck in a motel? Because Stephanie's strategy isn't about building stability. It's about preserving the image of struggle. It's about staying just poor enough to trigger sympathy, just tragic enough to draw attention, and just unstable enough to keep the money rolling in from both strangers and the state. She knows that as long as the living situation stays visibly bad, people will feel emotionally compelled to help. That way, she doesn't have to solve anything. She just has to keep the illusion alive. A heartbreaking set design her children are forced to live inside. And the reality is even darker. She's not just surviving in this environment, she's thriving from it financially. The longer her children remain trapped in discomfort, the more relatable her content appears, and the more profit she continues to pull in. It's exploitation in the purest form. And every day they stay in that motel, the mask slips even further. Government benefits and public manipulation. Stephanie isn't just squeezing the public for sympathy and donations. She's also deeply reliant on government aid, and she's using it as part of her long-term strategy to avoid real change. Free housing vouchers, food stamps, healthcare, child tax credit, utility subsides, these are all in place. And yet, with all those safety nets, she's made little or no effort to find stable employment, secure better living conditions, or create a long-term plan for her family's future. Instead, Stephanie admitted openly that she's planning to remain in the same cramped motel room for at least another year, a room where her children sleep inches from the bathroom, where privacy doesn't exist, where growing up with dignity feels like an impossible task. This isn't a short-term emergency stay. This is a calculated choice, because staying visibly poor keeps money flowing. It fuels her online content. It maintains eligibility for assistance and keeps her kids as emotional props for TikTok. By leaning on benefits without any exit strategy, Stephanie creates the illusion of struggle while avoiding accountability. She knows she doesn't have to fix anything. As long as she looks like she's struggling, the system and the strangers will keep providing. And the longer she stays in this position, the more normalized it becomes to her audience. Imagine knowingly keeping your children in discomfort, not because you have no way out, but because the chaos earns you clicks, pity, and passive income. It's not just irresponsible, it's exploitative. And it's turning government aid, a safety net for those who truly need it, into a business model. That's not survival. That's manipulation at the expense of innocent children. Thankfully, more people are finally waking up to Stephanie's manipulative tactics, and they're refusing to play her game any longer. Former supporters who once flooded her with sympathy, gifts, donations, and endless encouragement have now pulled away completely. Some have spoken out publicly, openly admitting their regret for ever supporting her narrative. Others have gone even further, organizing petitions, awareness campaigns, and social media movements, encouraging others to cut off financial support altogether. And here's the blunt reality. The more comfortable Stephanie gets with handouts and free money, the less motivation she has to actually change her life, and more critically, to give her children the stable and dignified life they deserve. Comfort in dysfunction doesn't lead to growth. It leads to rot, especially when it's turned into a business model. And let's not kid ourselves. If Stephanie hasn't chosen to prioritize her children's well-being after everything, after the viral attention, the flood of donations, the endless second chances, then it's crystal clear she never will. Her real priorities aren't hidden. She broadcasts them daily with every staged live, every manipulative plea, every opportunity she takes to profit off her children's pain. Her actions have screamed louder than any excuse or teary apology ever could. And now, more people are finally listening. Stephanie Jenkins had every tool she needed to break the cycle. The viral attention, the public sympathy, and even the financial support that so many struggling parents only dream of. She could have used it to get stable housing, secure therapy for her kids, or build a better future for all of them. But instead, she chose content over change. She chose views over values. And in doing so, she turned her children's real-life hardships into a revenue stream. Her kids aren't actors. They're not characters in a show. They're children being used to fuel a personal brand built on misery. And no amount of rage baiting, teary confessionals, sympathy pleas, or Disney daydreams can cover up the truth anymore. We have to keep calling this out. keep holding people accountable, because if we don't, more parents like Stephanie will keep turning their kids into content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you believe these kids deserve better than the storyline they've been trapped in. Because this story, it's not over yet, and neither is the fight to protect children from becoming pawns in someone else's play for internet fame.